of orbs or spirits because they're hard to prove or discount. I guarantee you, any one of you who brings me a picture of an orb, I'll probably say, guess what? You've got a bit of atomizer water on there, or that's dust. Like, show me the photo that has a bright luminescent orb from no visible light source. It's not reflecting off any surface from the camera. And I'd be like, you got me there. And that would be wonderful. That would just be awesome. So that's what we're doing, isn't it? I mean, we're looking for that holy grail of holy grails. The one bit of evidence I can say, hey, look, world, there are such things as ghosts, and that's what it looks like. Aren't you impressed? But it's hard, because things can be unproven. Things can be read into, and it should be that way. You know, there's an old saying that says, you know, to the faithful, there's no proof necessary. To the skeptical, there's no proof possible. So it comes back down to that personal thing again, doesn't it? Whether you believe or you don't believe. Because if you don't believe, it doesn't matter. If I produce a ghost right in front of you, you go, it's a projector. Or if you do believe, and I show you a picture of a bit of dust, like, that's my Aunt Muriel. You know, you've got to learn to govern your passions, especially in this field. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on in Insight is our ability to debunk or look at things rationally. Because there's always a logical explanation for most things that happen in an investigation. And it's true, you can let your imagination run wild. I've seen it happen in our groups. No matter how professional you try to be, that rampant excitement runs through you. Especially on a ghost hunt. The lights are off, everyone's got their flashlights waving their equipment, you're waiting for something to happen, the excitement builds. What was that? I don't know! Oh my God! You see it into it. It's only human, it's natural. The reason you are all here tonight is for the promise of something supernatural, right? I mean, that's true, isn't it? That's why I went into ghost hunting. I wanted something supernatural, and so do you. So do they, and that's why it happens. But the most valuable tool we have, anyone has, everybody in the world has that wants to do ghost hunting, even if they don't, they still possess these tools, are your five senses. Your sight, listening, smelling, even tasting. These things can all actually be very useful when ghost hunting. Spirits can actually invoke odors. You go, I smell a cheeseburger. We're in the middle of an abandoned factory. I know, but I smell a cheeseburger. I swear to God, I smell a cheeseburger. They'll use whatever they can, or have to try to communicate to you. Touching you, smelling you, or, you know, how many people have ever seen something like a shadow out of the corner of their eye? Anybody? Show of hands. Anybody? Thank you. 10 to 1 says, if it wasn't your cat Fluffy, it was probably something that was too fast for your eye to register. But there's a reason why we see things dark on the side of our eyes. Sometimes they're optical illusions, but sometimes they aren't. There's something more. Now, real quick, I want to go over a few things about the paranormal, and this is the educational part of our program, that are very important to me. The first thing is separating fact from fiction. For example, ghost hunting. Ghost hunting may seem like a relatively new thing to a lot of people, but actually it's a very old profession, either in secrecy or sometimes just forgotten about. For example, back in 1882 in England, there's a group called the Ghost Club. It's still in existence today. Some of its earliest members, nobody important, Charles Dickens. But ghost hunting has been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, in 1882 as well, William James, if you do not know who this is, he's the guy who founded the American Psychological Association. He actually started a group called the Society for Psychical Research, and he decided to apply a scientific method to ghost hunting, using the five senses, case studies, and everything, in order to produce ghost reports, which is kind of a lot of the stuff we use to this day. So it's actually a lot older than a lot of people think. It's just a sudden interest in it nowadays, which is nice to hear. The other thing, Hollywood. I love a scary movie. I do. But that is not how it is. Forget TV. Forget movies. It is all entertainment. I don't care if it's An American Haunting, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Lab, Haunting in Connecticut. It is all entertainment, and it's good entertainment. It's designed to entertain you. It is not designed to educate you. 99.999.941% of what you're seeing in those movies and TVs does not happen in the real world. It is exaggerated for your entertainment. And I try to emphasize this at lectures or when I talk to clients. Do not buy into the Hollywood thing. Watch it, enjoy it, get a good scare, because everyone loves a good scare. I do. I saw The Exorcist when I was 10. Hadn't been the same since. Thank you. Yeah, nightmares, right? Comes at you in your sleep. Woo! Hate it. Hurts you, Linda Blair. But it is entertainment. When you go on a ghost hunt, I've done this for about 3 years now. I'm no expert, just 3 years. But in my humble experience, my 40-plus cases, something has yet to pop out in front of me and go, woo! I have not seen a full-body apparition. I have not. I've heard a voice in my ear. I've heard voices in the room, but I have not seen a full-body apparition. Hollywood is designed to entertain, and those thoughts perceive in our head, and all of a sudden, the ghost hunting becomes a scary thing. But guess what? It's not. They are us, we will be them. They are people. They were people, like we are now. And they are spirits now, like we will become. And that's so important to keep that in mind. Because when a homeowner comes up to me and they want help, they seem a little freaked. Again, I hate to say it, 99.999.9.1%, the entity is just trying to say, hey, how you doing? What you doing here? It's my house. That's all they're trying to do. They're just trying to get attention. If you were in the corner of the room over there in a large party and nobody's paying attention to you, I think after a while you'd be like, hello, hey, I'm over here, don't ignore me. That's pretty much what they're doing. That's the reason we get evidence, is because they're trying to contact us. That's all they're trying to do, just like you and I would in the same situation. Now sometimes they've got a mission. Like for example, you want to hear the oldest ghost story ever recorded? This is by Pliny the Younger. This is in ancient Athens. This guy was a philosopher and a lawyer, and he wrote a story about the house he lived in 100 years earlier. The man who lived there one night saw a figure in chains in his living room. He followed it out to the courtyard, and then it disappeared. So he marked the area with an X. The next morning, he dug up where the X was. He found a human skeleton with chains wrapped all around it. So he took the remains, gave it the proper burial. He never saw the entity again. That is the earliest ghost story. But again, the ghost had a purpose and it had a mission to do. Just like we would in the afternoon, I assume. Alright, now on to the fun part. I'm done talking. We're going to go over some evidence I've collected from various places, including here. And whether you believe or not, bottom line, it's not my job to prove it to you. It's up to you to make the decision about what you hear and see, and as far as what you believe. Be rational, be logical, try to debunk it. Think it through. Because you know what? Maybe you guys will think of something I hadn't thought of. Or maybe you'll find something new in there, or maybe you'll discover something new about ghost hunting, or get intrigued or want to try it yourself. But to cut to the chase, I'm going to go over the Gunn Memorial. Now, when we came here on August 19th, Stephen took us on a tour of both places. Those were some of the things happened. There wasn't a lot of really reports of huge activity, but he was kind enough to let us investigate anyway. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to go over some of the personal experiences that happened here, and then I'm going to review some of the evidence we found. Right when we first got here, we came into the parking lot. Allison, when she got out of the car, she felt a presence while she was passing the door of the museum. That door on the side that has a little sign on it, she felt a presence or a tingling of her. She asked another investigator, Katie, to come over and just walk by the door. She didn't tell her what she felt or anything. When Katie passed the door, she felt the same thing. She felt like a tingling or something was watching her. Right after that, both of them looked over here into the library, into the window, and they felt like something was looking at them. Personal experience. I can't prove this to you, and I'm not going to even try to, but this is what they told me happened. And that's, again, go back to my personal experiences thing.